Yo, 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 yo! YouTube! Greetings and salutations. It is your boy, Uncle Jim.
There he is, Uncle Jim, Superman St. Louis. Let's go.
Woo, 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 woo. Check it out, check it out, check it out. I got you to come along with me on a ride, and you know who's my co-pilot. You know who's my number one. You know who's always the ace in the hole and the one that brings it home. Look at him. Surf City, USA. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the number one, Mr. Curtis
Curtis Magic, ladies and gentlemen, it's gonna be a water landing.
Oh, I just literally saw Neil deGrasse Tyson on TikTok explain.
Let's go.
The tides don't actually come in and out, but the Earth is in an oblongated water sphere, and as we turn, our particular part of the world is in either the high part or the low part of
Come on. So it's just sloshing back.
It is. We're just sloshing inside.
We're
For
just
all you
sloshing.
flat earthers out there, it's round.
Just exactly what's happening on this channel. We're just sloshing around.
We're giving you that's it. We're trying to see if
there's high tide moments, low tide moments. 100.
Sometimes you see the bottom of the ocean, you're like, whoa, this ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming and tuning into the channel. As you know, we are doing a bit of a shift.
Yeah.
We are checking out new hot Zeitgeistian pieces of entertainment on the World Wide Web or television screens, however you want to talk about it. Now, we did an episode where we checked out a Netflix special, a short series called Mrgij, and we both dug it because we're improvisers, and I thought it was fun.
Good show.
What'd you think? You thought it was a good show?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch season 2 for sure.
If it comes out, who knows?
But you know what I'm not going to do is do a recap video.
Let's not do that.
Not much
but
love
this time we are shifting and we are getting in to the mind of those individuals aboard the mothership known as Disney and on to one particular son known as Marvel. We are going to be reviewing and talking about our favorite parts of Mr. Moon Knight. So let's get into it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Boom.
Let's go.
So excited.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. First off, let's just get a little bit of basic background. You want me to just drop a little bit now?
I need a recap because I didn't know what was going on.
I mean, listen. Okay, so we are going to come right out and talk to you.
Spoilers.
People web. You know, I don't know how. I mean, two dudes like mono, but duo Globo. I don't know how to say it.
Right.
But look, we're fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Disney things, writ large. But
one of the few fans.
I will be I will be very honest with you guys. We are going to evaluate this through the eyes of just general consumers, maybe from the perspective of actors as improvisers, things like that. We are by
Hollywood insiders.
We are by no means Marvel experts.
No.
We are going to routinely get things wrong in terms of like canon, things of that nature. Yeah. And we are going to talk about the TV show. We're not talking about the comic books. We're not getting into the wider world. We will try and talk about how we think it connects, to the larger cinematic universe, at least from what we can pick up. But mostly we just want to talk about, did we have a good time?
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
And also, I think something that you and I talked about was, how does it sort of take the temperature of culture in the moment and incorporate that, right?
That's right because that's the distinction from any kind of lore or comic book history that it's paying off. There's also now it's in this cultural moment. So how does it speak to that or whatever?
No, I think it's important that we got to realize that I know a lot of you guys that are fans. If you're tuning in, you saw that we're thumbnailing that, we're doing a Moon Knight reaction. I know a lot of you fans have talked about the retconning, if you will, of Marvel as a property, as an entity, right? That there's been like some gender differentials, there's been some casting of different cultural backgrounds, either that started out in one particular ethnic background and went to a different one. And I'm just going to say this up front. I think as far as Curtis and I are concerned, we're just interested in good storytelling and a way to see something. Yeah, I mean, we like inclusion. And so if one of the things that people have a beef with is, oh, this person was supposed to be this ethnic background, or have this distinction to their, the cultural background of the character or whatever. I mean, we're just going to try and evaluate it in the now, right?
Yeah. And I think, just real talk, I think it's like if a character is historically white or male from the comic series or whatever, like we have enough going for us. We could throw some other people a bone here in the casting world or whatever. So where that's concerned. Now on the flip side, if it's like, well, this character is supposed to be Egyptian and they didn't cast me, and you got a beef with that, we're listening. We'll hear about that. We might not have a lot of.
We do know that that's been one of the things that have specifically been brought up. Okay, so this is starring Oscar-Isaac as the titular character, Mark Spector / Moon Knight, and he's this, as far as we can pick up from the first episode, he's been sort of chosen, unbeknownst to himself, to be a vessel for, I guess, this individual who is the Moon Knight. That at this point. And guys, there's going to be spoilers all up and through this. That's why we're calling it a reaction. The reveal is not until the very end that of the character, everything that we saw in the and listen, let's be honest with each other. Curtis, can you even, like, when people say spoiler, everything's on the internet, like, immediately, all the time.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're only watching this if you've already seen it. And you want to, you want to have a riff about it a little bit. Yeah.
Right.
Go back and forth, and definitely throw some comments in there. We'll be sure to respond.
So we're going to then, instead of going like, hey, let's give the background. We're not going
to tell the whole story because you already seen it.
But what did we pick up in terms of jumping out, but also like from your perspective, how did it unfold? What did you see coming to life as far as the storytelling was concerned?
Yeah, because I knew nothing about Moon Knight going in, and so it was I think this is a comment about the storytelling, also the directing, but I was watching it with my lady friend, and she said exactly what I was thinking. It was like, this kind of, like, it feels like a video game. And I had that, like, and I think that's a good thing, because it suggests that we're really there with Mark in the first person shooter kind of perspective. We're really feeling like connected and experiencing things as he does. That was especially true in the scene where he's starting to get, like, he shows up outside the village and he's starting to get shot at and stuff. I was like, oh, that feels very like Fallout or a Nathan Drake type game or something.
Absolutely.
It's very, and it felt like we were really immersed in that. So for me, I was like, what was cool.
Our discovery was along the lines of his discovery.
It's just so important. And that, I think, like, it's a simple rule, but I think it's one that gets broken too often is don't show us stuff that the main character or main characters don't know. Like, let us experience that, like, as they do, And so we had very little of, like, under the hood peaks, there was only that little teaser at the beginning. I think the whole rest of the episode, we're following Oscar-Isaac around as he's
in the Steven character,
as
the Cockney shopist,
the lovable loser,
which is always a great premise. And there's some tropes, right? Like, that's just part of storytelling, where you're almost like, how can you not include stuff and say, well, it's related to X, Y, and Z. But what I will say is, when he wakes up on the mountainside, and then we're only getting, like, the going to sleep with the ankle restraint on. And the first moment he wakes up and he pulls the tape off the door, and I was a little confused because I was like, he looked a little confused. Now, I don't know if the confusion was, did I go someplace and these are the precautions that I take?
So I'm under the impression that like he has been he's been out there experiencing things, and then but he goes and checks the tape. He goes and checks his leg brace or the foot, brace thing. Yeah, and then he tells himself, oh, that was all just a dream. All that was just a dream.
Right.
So it's not until the very end where he realizes, and he's finding the stuff in his apartment.
Right.
He's finding the phone.
So trippy. Yeah.
That's when he's
makes
like,
the call.
oh, this stuff is, that's when I think it changes for him. So he's
I love the first time the Guardian, who we don't really know who he is, is having a conversation inside of his head, but not with him.
Yes. Yeah.
And that to me was like, oh, okay. Yeah. He's just in there going, I'm hearing this as well for the first time, which is kind of like one of my favorite movies of all time, Stranger Than Fiction, right? Yeah. Just the idea that your life is being narrated and you're like, wait a second, what? Mm-hmm. How come you know what I'm doing as I'm doing it, or even before I do it? And I mean, it's obviously not exactly corollary, but it's similar to just, and I think that that's a really great plot driving point or story telling point, is just this idea of, we're not going to know. We still don't know who this dude is. We don't know who Moon. Right. We just know that he showed up, in the final scene. Mark says to him in the mirror there at the museum, let me take control. And we had noticed that he would pass out. And that was, I really like that cinematography. Ooh, he's gone. We don't, because a lot of times in those settings, it would be, we see him pass out. Then we see him become, the assassin and doing all this stuff. Right. But the way they shot this was like, eyes roll back in his head. And then when he comes back to, he's not that guy anymore. We're just looking at the results of the stuff he did.
Yes. And that is the commitment to that first person experience that is so special. Now later on, I'm sure we're going to see all the butt kicking action.
Sure.
But for now, it was like, oh, it was such a great way to just like hold us in suspense and kind of go through that journey with him. So, and in terms of the sort of how does this have commentary on like real life?
Sure.
I feel like this is just a good classic sort of every man, every woman, human condition experience where it's like there's that sort of that inside person, that dark passenger who pops out and you're like, what did I just snapped at this person, or whatever. Right. And there's this part of us that feels like sometimes we don't even have a connection to like that a side of ourselves. We're like, I don't even know who that person was.
Get at us in the comments if you've ever been angry and inside of your anger, your other brain is going, dude, you need to chill. Why are you so upset about this?
While you're cussing out the person in the grocery store, there's another voice being like, dude, what are you?
As some of you know, I'm also a fun uncle.
Yeah.
And there have been more than one occasion in a babysitting scenario where I have heard inside my head, dude, she's 3, chill.
Yes.
But I digress. So that's a fun part of this idea that there's this other side of you. And then also it'll be interesting to watch multiple personality disorder. How is it handled?
Yeah.
There's another Marvel property, gosh, it's escaping me, about an individual who has sort of mental health components as part of their, as part of the storyline to their, I want to call it minions. It's not minions. That's something else completely.
It is.
You guys can get at me in the comments. You guys know which one I'm talking about. It was on FX. It was a guy who, like his memory would pop in and out, and I can't remember.
That's right.
It's escaping me completely.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because I do think there is this sort of understanding, hey, this is stuff people are wrestling with, and how unique is it to look at superheroes in the or heroes or enhanced individuals or whatever as people who have the exact same struggles, You know, because I think the early iterations of these concepts, Superman, people like, you know, especially Superman, when did he ever make a mistake? When did he ever question, you know, the modern telling of those stories, he is more fallible, which I can appreciate, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Now I'm excited to get to our little scoring section of the video
categories. So what we're going to try and do is incorporate a little bit of a way to kind of grade each episode as if you were part of those of you who've rocked with our channel for a while. We would do that. And anytime we'd watch a video, we would talk about, you know, out of so many, you know, rappers, you know, what started with the Harry Mack content.
Yeah.
But we want to kind of take this a different route. Both Matt and I are big sports fans. We both enjoy a little bit of the round ball, the National Basketball Association.
It's still technically it's March as we record this.
Yeah, right.
So
The madness the madness is in its closing stages.
Yeah, it is.
And the Cinderella story, St. Peter's.
My goodness. Oh,
you know, R.I.P. St. Peter's. But man, they did it. They went. They rolled deep.
Hype.
So we are going to ask a few questions, give a few awards here. So now, what's difficult when you're doing something is we wanted to do an MVP category, right? But an MVP, it's kind of hard when you think Oscar Isaac is going to win that pretty much every time. He's on the screen the most.
Let's just say something about that real quick, just as the disclaimer, since we're in disclaimer land.
Yeah,
the man did in this one episode. The man he was doing drama. He was doing comedy. He was doing horror.
Yes,
this is a very talented actor.
Yeah, no, he's a talented individual, and he would win the MVP every single episode.
There's no question.
Instead of giving the MVP, let's talk about categories of the MVP.
Yeah.
So, you know, how many points did he score?
Yeah.
How many rebounds? How many assists? Were there any steals?
Yeah.
I mean, talk to me, Goose. What do you think?
I mean, look, it was 50. I'd say 62 points.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, for all those reasons that I suggested,
he had to do a lot at the top.
It was all him for the most part. Honestly,
that's true.
He was doing he was not passing the ball a lot, but there was no one to pass it to.
Now I will say this: I'm going to give you. I'm going to push back a little bit.
Hit me.
I think there was a sixth man award.
Sure,
and that was Donna.
Yeah.
Donna's cutting commentary of like, listen, get it together. You're going to constantly be doing inventory.
Yeah.
You thought you took your shot at this girl. And then the very next sentence, she goes, "Oh, well, then, you know, she's definitely barking up the right tree going after you, weirdo."
I loved it. It was so, and this man is, you know, is in many communities considered one of the sexiest men alive, and she was not feeling him at all. She gave zero risk. Listen,
get to selling these jelly bellies, and
she did
knock it off. Don't even pretend like you know stuff about Egyptology, which he clearly did.
He did,
and
but she didn't care.
No, she was having no time for it. A couple of specific 3-pointers that I really enjoyed from the comedic perspective.
Yeah.
When she says, "Is this your attempt at trying to become a guide again? It's not going to work." And he goes, "That's crushing, really." And then goes on to the rest of the explanation. And then another one that I thought was just beautiful was ankle restraints, a bit of a red flag on a first date. And then finally, when he gets questioned by, by the way, stole a lot of time and was devious and frightening. Our number one bad guy, Mr. Ethan Hawke, was excellent.
He did great.
Very David Koreshian.
Yeah.
If you will.
Yeah. He did have that.
When he put the glass
sort of a Raiden.
I was like, what's happening?
No,
here?
Now,
Go ahead. No, talk to me.
I was just gonna say, you know, the highlight, the most delicious moment for me,
give it
personally, was where they're squaring off, and Oscar Isaac is trying to hand him the medallion thing.
Yes.
Now there's some like some sound effects in there, like, by the way, visual sound.
Oh,
excellent.
Brilliant.
So there's some stuff like, you know, stuff like that. But that's all Oscar Isaac doing all that physical
movement.
Like, I'm trying to hand it to you. I can't hand it to you. Like
the arm back when he's running.
Yes.
So good.
It was really good, man. It was like,
guys, when you have to really do that convincingly, right? And what you're doing is essentially communicating that parts of your body are not responding to your actual movement. Yeah, that is some top shelf acting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to give it to you. That's probably the most dunk. That was the most monstrous dunk of the episode. And I'm gonna leave you with this last one,
please.
Where Ethan Hawke was like, and becomes the Earth in Avatar. He's like, Avatar, blue people love that movie. Nice pop culture reference. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for rocking with us. We are totally giving this, out of a possible 10, I would give this first episode a 9, because I mean it was really I'm locked in.
It was really strong.
There were so many brilliant pieces of storytelling. The comedy was on point, which is always good in the MCU, in my opinion. Fantastic. Any final words from you, Madge?
Yeah, no, if I would just say I also agree that it's a 9, and part of that is because I think we're on the same page about this. We're hopeful that we're gonna be even more impressed in future episodes. That's just holding out that hope.
I absolutely think that that's what's going to go down. That's how it's going to go down. Anyway, thanks for rocking with us. We're going to get to episode 2. I think it drops next Wednesday. So be looking for our video to drop in the Thursday, Friday range. We appreciate you being a part of it. Hopefully we're going to grow the community into, including some of the Marvel folks, some of you guys who rock with us for some of the other reactions. Hopefully you'll continue along. And that's kind of where we're at. So we leave you as we've always left you, with a little bit of peace.
Yo, you know I'ma run this, kid. Shouts out to Curtis Magic and Uncle Jizz. Yeah, when I do my lyrics, dog, I'm repping for the faction. Hit them up online for the fly-ass reactions. Yeah, out to him, I be giving mad love. Yo, shout to Uncle Jizz, I'ma give you the plug.